1.
We're live.
We are live, guys. What is up, everybody? It is your girl, Nia, TheVideoGamHer, and we are live on the Team Red Talks Nintendo podcast. And we got a couple of topics for you guys. I'm going to be your host for today. So first, we're going to start off talking about the Nintendo Switch presentation, of course, because this is a Nintendo podcast. So, of course, we're going to be talking about Nintendo all night tonight. So we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of the presentation and just our thoughts on the presentation overall. And we're also going to be talking about what we wish was explored more during the actual presentation itself. And we're going to be talking about the community's reactions to the presentation, either positive or negative, and just some brief thoughts that we've had about people's reactions and things like that. And then towards the end of the podcast, as always, we will be taking questions. So before we go ahead and get started, I want to go ahead and introduce you guys to our panel. I'm going to be starting from left to right. So I'm going to be introducing Mr. ActivesiNGaming, my boy Alex. Go ahead and give your intro. Tell the people what's up.
All right, what's going on, everyone? ActivesiN here. We're back. Another episode of Team Red Talks Nintendo. I'm a little under the weather, so you might hear my voice sounding different than usual. But we're still here for some Switch hype, baby. Joy-Con boys, Switch gang up in this house. But yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. We got some new people in here, some people you haven't seen in a while. But yeah, let's go.
Yes. So next on the panel, I'm going to be introducing my homeboy, Mr. Sax Rebel HD. What up, fam? Go ahead and tell the people who you are, where they can find you.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy, the Black Shy Guy, Sax Rebel HD. You can find me over at youtube.com/SaxRebelHD. I'm also on Twitter, Views from the Sax. I'm just a gamer. I kind of play a little bit of everything, PC and Nintendo mainly. I'm happy that Nia invited me to be a guest on the podcast today. So thanks a lot, Nia.
Yay, that's my friend.
Yes, we are happy to have you. It's always good to have a new person's perspective.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
He's awesome. He's awesome. And shout outs to my baby mama, Kuuppon.
What?
Baby mama.
Baby mama.
How y'all doing? Oh my god, what am I doing? Leave it to Nintendo to bring me back into podcast and whatnot. This nonsense going on here. You guys, thanks for having me on board. It's gonna be fun. So let's see what's going down. Let's talk and be honest about our opinions and move on from there. So yeah.
For sure. And of course, I can't forget about the homie, Real Gamer 27. Tell the people where they can find you.
I'm a fake gamer. Like, people call me a fraud.
You're a rich gamer. Rich gamer 27.
All right, what's up, man? It's your boy, Real Gamer 27. Appreciate you for letting me on y'all podcast. Got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Some Nintendo stuff, positive and negatives. So let's go and get down to these topics. And let's get to it. I'm ready.
Yes. So, so let's go ahead and get into these topics, you guys. So first, we're going to be talking about positives and negatives about the show. And just to kind of, I guess, to keep this orderly, we're going to start with the cons. Go ahead and get the negative stuff out of the way. And I'm going to be doing this round table style because we do have a little bit more people than we normally have on the podcast. So again, I'm going to be starting from left to right. I'm going to be starting with my boy ActivesiNGaming. Alex, go ahead and tell us, what are the pros that you witnessed from that presentation on Thursday? I mean, not the pros, the cons.
We're doing cons first?
All
right, sit back because I'm going to blow your mind because there's a lot of stuff that I hate. No, there's some stuff that wasn't great about this conference. Obviously, being a conference at, I guess your guys' time was what, 11 at night?
Yeah.
Okay, so 11 o'clock at night, they're showing they're showing an event to reveal their console. The people that are watching this show are the most hardcore of gamers, journalists, stuff like that. And yet they start off the show with 1-2 Switch and ARMS and talking about Joy-Cons. Like, it was a lot of casual stuff, and that was not a good way to start the show, I found. That's what I thought anyways. So I thought that was a little weird because those kind of people, they're not going to watch events like that live. Definitely not. They're going to see commercials on YouTube. They'll see it on TV. That's how they get their information. So I think it's bizarre that you cater to them at all at these kind of shows. So I thought that was a misstep. I thought the price was a bit higher than what I was expecting, but whatever. $2.99 is not terrible. I was one of those guys. $2.50, $2.99 with Zelda, but $2.99 is not. It's not awful. It's not awful. It's not terrible. But again, $2.50 I think would have been better. Something that was super annoying to me was how they totally just glossed over. They're like, oh, here, blah, 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 it's $2.99. Oh, and by the way, we're going to charge you for online starting fall. Oh, by the way, here's some Joy-Cons. And then they started talking about Joy-Cons for 20 minutes. It's like, wait, what? You're going to charge us for online? And they didn't specify why they're charging. They didn't say what they're going to do with the online. And then later we found out some stuff like you have to use your phone to do the voice chat, which is really bizarre. You got to download an app. And I guess it syncs to the phone somehow, and that's how we get voice chat. But they didn't explain it. Like, they just kind of breezed over it and then talked about Joy-Cons for 20 minutes. So I know the Joy-Cons can feel like ice cubes in a glass. 1 ice cube, 2 ice cube, 3 ice cubes. I found that out. That was super exciting. And I know a lot about Joy-Cons. Unnecessary things. So there's a lot of information that they didn't talk about. Obviously, they weren't going to talk about the specs of the system. I didn't expect them to. They just don't do that. But I was expecting them to talk about the online because they partnered with DNA to redo their entire online network, and they're charging you for it, and they didn't talk about it. So that's a problem. Some of the games are kind of whatever. Like 1-2 Switch, you gotta have these casual games. That's not a big deal. ARMS looks okay. Then there's some other like crazy awesome games. So we'll talk about that in the pro stuff. But I guess that's mainly it. They didn't talk about the online. I thought there was too much casual stuff for a live event like this that's catered towards gamers. So I thought that was kind of weird. I guess that's most of the cons. Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to pass it over to my boy, Sax. Sax, what are some cons that you had from watching their presentation on Thursday?
All right. First off, sorry I took myself off the camera for reasons. But anyway.
Yeah,
my biggest disappointment in the cons about the presentation was really the price. $2.99 without a packing game. To me, that was like the biggest L Nintendo did for themselves. Well, yeah, basically the biggest L. As someone who would like to be able to tell more people about the platform or console I want to support, it's hard to justify to anyone. If you pay $2.99 for this handheld console hybrid, and then you still have to buy a game, it kind of was like, I hope you didn't do this. I was really on this side of $249.99. Then you have your pack-in demo that showcases what the console had to do.
Yeah, which is 1-2 Switch.
But you still have to pay for it. And
yeah, 1-2 Switch is $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that to me was like the biggest blow in the actual presentation. It was like less than 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, hype, Switch, and then they're like $2.99, no game, and I'm like, what? Like, I think I literally tweeted like, what? I think that's what I literally tweeted. Besides that, after that, my main biggest gripe was they showed a lot of games, like literally showed a lot of games, but they didn't actually talk about a lot of games.
Right.
I don't mind them, talking about their tech demo 1-2 Switch. I don't mind them, talking about the new IP ARMS, which I think looks like a pretty interesting game. I would like to get my hands on it. But they actually literally, like, they had the little sizzler reel with, like, a whole bunch of different games, but hardly any of them were actually talked about. Like, they made a big deal to talk about Sonic Mania when we clearly see, like, a second of a 3D Sonic game going on right there, and, like, they're not even going to say, it exists.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm surprised how little they talked about Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8.
Right, that's crazy. They didn't tell us anything
like,
about
Splatoon 2 was Splatoon's a massive success for them.
Right.
They didn't even talk about it. Mario Kart 8's the best-selling game on the Wii U by a long shot. They didn't talk about it.
Exactly.
Crazy.
And then to top that whole thing off, like, they brought Suda51, the guy from Suda51, onto the stage, and, like, he was like, oh, we're doing a new game with Travis Touchdown, and, we haven't actually started developing the game. And I'm just like,
okay, so why are you
of all the things, of all the people, like, that's the best you could do? Like, you say you have all this, or you're drumming us up to believe you're getting all this support, but you bring a developer that doesn't actually have a game in active development
they
right now.
clearly said during the presentation they have 80 games in development, and they chose a guy who doesn't have a game in development.
Right.
It's crazy.
Like, even if he is, like,
that's so true. Oh my god.
And lastly, to round out my main qualms about it, I think everyone's going to say a lot of the similar things, but of course, the lack of information regarding the online system. They mentioned some stuff was a smart device, and then they said it was free for a little bit, and that was kind of it. They kind of just kept it like, oh, this is going to be a little bullet point on our not elaborate, as they should have, because your competitors would have done the same thing, and you should be trying to compete directly with them. And if you keep information like this, which is important to gamers in 2017 at this point, you keep pushing and trying not to give that vital information away, you kind of isolate some people.
Yeah. And
you isolate those people.
Go ahead.
You kind of isolate those people who say they want, they may want to support Nintendo, but I would like to know what kind of online system they have to make up for what the Wii U lacked. You kind of throw those people away. You kind of push them away. And I think where they left the Switch in its current form, kind of like, I wouldn't say exactly where the Wii U is, but they kind of like just kind of left it there. So, I mean, from here it can go up, but right now, if anybody was just basing the Switch off the I wouldn't blame them for anything negative they had to say.
Right. Very true. Very true. All right, Kuuppon, what are your cons?
All right, so I do have a list, and I'm just going to kind of breeze over them quickly, and most of what everybody has already said is kind of some of my cons too. So to start off, translators were absolute garbage.
Oh, yeah.
I did not like the fact that with Japanese has a lot of syllables and a lot of words going on, and with translators, they had to wait until they finished their complete sentences before they could reiterate what was being said. So there's these long pauses, these awkward silences. Everything was kind of weird, and you got the Japanese doing their thing, and then American translators are just like, some dude with the Splatoon, and he's all excited. You got some of the presenters who were fairly excited about what they were presenting, and then you got the translators who are just like, oh, and by the way, the monotone sounding voices and stuff, and it was just all around garbage. So I would have preferred subtitles and leave it at that, or
those translators were awful.
Yeah, or just pick one translator to translate the whole damn thing.
There was what, like 4 of them? They were all bad. So.
Yeah,
especially that Suda51 translator. He was literally like quiet for 2 minutes.
He was
he was waiting for the guy to finish talking to finish the translation. I'm just like, no. So it would have been better had they have just did this whole thing, Japanese style, put some subtitles in there, and then maybe later on how they did with the Zelda trailer at the end, they actually put it in English toward the end and re-uploaded it to YouTube or something. I don't know. Or just get one translator. They didn't need 15 different translators for that. Just one translator across the board would have been perfectly fine, or something.
Shit, Dave J, we're all moist for the Switch.
They were all horrible.
Why didn't they just let Bill Trennan?
That's what I don't understand. Yeah. Like that's his job, is it not?
Right. I don't get
it. The price for the system, I mean, I kind of expected a little lower, but I guess 300 isn't bad. It's doable, so I'm not too mad about it. They spent too much time on the Joy-Cons, like you were said, and then the prices of the Joy-Cons are horribly crazy.
Oh yeah, the accessory prices are absurd.
Like, what is that about? Pro controller and all that.
Like the Joy-Cons are $80 for a pair, and the dock is $90. So that's $170. You minus that from the Switch's cost, so 300 minus 170. That's what the Switch costs.
It was just crazy how they spent so much time on the Joy-Cons, and then the fact that they cost so much. I was just like, all right. You have a presentation about your console and what it does and things of that nature, and you don't talk about the cartridges whatsoever.
At all. Yeah. That was weird.
Confused. I was like, that's weird. You don't show us the cartridge. You don't talk about the cartridge. You don't give us any information, at least about that. If not,
like, if I was them, I would be bragging. Like, we are bringing back plug-and-play gaming. You don't have to install your games on a hard drive anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would have been bringing that up all around, so that was kind of confusing to me.
Yeah.
They released a lot of info after presentations. So
Yeah.
like on their website, a lot of their info came out afterwards, and it's like you have a presentation. Bring that information out during the presentation. Why are you putting it on your website for people to kind of as an afterthought? To, it's a presentation, bring it out. And I'm kind of low key upset that the presentation wasn't a direct in some format, kind of sort of.
It's like they were trying to do a hybrid. It was weird.
I don't know. It was a little weird. So that was one of my little things. The paid online was not clear. There's no clear info about what we're getting with our paid online, although we do get a trial version of it for a while. So I'm thankful for that. But at the same time, like I said, you didn't really talk about your paid online. You're more sure how that works and everything, and and what are the incentives with your online. Some of that was explained, and then some of it was just kind of like left in the air. So a lot of the online talk was just like left to our own devices. So I'm assuming they're going to talk more about that as the launch comes in, but that was a ball dropped immensely on that part. That needed to be explained during the presentation, point blank.
Yeah.
There's no information on the interface, like the home screen.
The UI, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, you like just kind of saw it ever so often, but they never really actually showed you. Like they could have did a quick little presentation. This is our menu. This is our UI or whatever. This is what it looks like. This is how you get to settings, parental controls, whatever. Done. You could have spent half the time you spent on the Joy-Cons on that and cartridges.
Yeah, I just don't understand why there was so much Joy-Con talk.
Yeah, a lot of Joy-Con.
I don't get it.
Like, we get it. They're Wiimotes and they're smaller. You turn them sideways. Like, calm down.
Great. I mean, how how long does it take you to let the people know, hey, you're going to be using your
I want to know how to... Well, I guess now we know why they didn't show the UI, because it's not ready.
It's not.
Half the features aren't ready.
Obviously. Like, you're not ready for launch. You shouldn't be launching is how I feel. I mean, I understand I want Zelda, but if you're not ready, you shouldn't be launching. But anyway, I got a few more things and I'm done. Can we use external storage? Has that been explained or anything?
Just memory cards on that.
Micro SD.
Micro.
So you can use micro SD cards up to 2 terabytes.
All right, so I'm hoping in the near future they announce that we can use some external hard drives, but
I hope so.
That would be nice.
They were considering it, so there's a possibility
they're looking into it. Because there are going to be some people that just never take this out of the dock.
Yeah. So another thing was kind of the scarce lineup. If you're not into Zelda, you're not going to really be too interested in half the stuff that they have for the launch. And the fact that they didn't bundle 1-2 Switch,
that's like, let's be real, that should be a pack-in title.
Ain't nobody trying to buy that at full price at all.
Like, that game's gonna bomb, and it's their own fault.
I agree.
And it's going against Zelda. It's gonna bomb for that alone. You should have packed that.
Hell, $50 for a little cow milking game? I don't think so.
Definitely not.
And then with Splatoon, I'm a little low-key upset they didn't use the tagline Splatoon.
That's what I'm saying.
Why not? I know this isn't nothing to do with really the presentation, but it was just like you had a pun in your.
It was right there. The pun was right in front of them, and they let it
What
pass.
happened?
They even had the guy do the 2 thing with his little guns.
How'd you miss that? Like, that was low-key a little. I was upset about that. And overall, the presentation was horrible, hands down. It was just a horrible presentation. It's very lackluster. It was a little slow and juddered, and translators didn't make it.
Usually their presentations have been on point lately.
Like I said, I would prefer them to just do a direct if that was the case. They could have got all the information they needed. Wouldn't need to worry about translations. Could have showed us all the interfaces, the parental control stuff, all that stuff. Like, I don't know. It just, they weren't prepared. They definitely didn't seem very prepared. Those are my cons.
Okay. Real Gamer, what are your cons?
Basically, all y'all been saying.
It's pretty much across the board.
I know.
Alex, he brought up a really good point. Like,
I usually do, yeah.
You've been dry for the past 2 years. Like, when you start your presentation, you're supposed to come out with the heavy games. You got to come out with the games. Don't bring up what made your previous system a failure. They brought it up to force the casuals back in us, knowing that casuals is not watching the presentation, because casuals only see video games and commercials. Only the hardcore gamers that stand up to watch it.
Yep.
With that, because they should have known that the majority of the people that was actually watching the presentation are hardcore gamers. So hardcore gamers moved away from the Wiimotes like 5-6 years ago. So that was a knock on them. Like, you know, the arms and the 1-2 switch. Like, a lot of people was like, Nintendo, are we doing this again? Like, come on, freaking like, okay, past 2 years. Like, what the hell? What Nintendo has been giving us? That you should start your presentation with a bang and you end with a bang. That's how you're supposed to do it. It's supposed
Exactly.
to be nothing but games. But 20-minute discussion about the Joy-Cons, and you know, I guess they was explaining how the system operates. There's nothing wrong with that. I like how they give all this information, but if it's basically taking time away from them showing us more games, then they should extend the presentation. That was my knock on it. They should extend the presentation. They should have used that towards the middle of the conference. You start the conference, you know, really interesting, get a lot of hardcore gamers back. Then you end the conference, what they did, like with Zelda. I like how they ended.
The ending was great.
Exactly.
But when they start, it was bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Very awkward start.
It's cool how they telling us how the Joy-Cons, you know, work. It's cool. They tell us that they use all the DNA from the previous Nintendo system.
That was nice. I like that. That was cool.
I like that. But don't spend extra time talking about something that a lot of us that's watching don't even care for. And the online stuff, like, they should have been a little bit more details with that.
I'm very concerned.
I like how it is a free trial. That's cool. It's a free trial for a few months. I can give Nintendo that because when we first got our Xbox or PlayStation, we get like a 2-week free trial.
Yeah.
That's it. At least we get a few months. So whenever the fall comes,
I am convinced we are beta testing their new online network.
Oh yeah, definitely. We totally are.
Yeah.
They weren't ready, so they were like, "Yeah, free trial till fall."
Well, like it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying I think that's what's happening.
But it's basically what's going on.
Yeah, that's what's going on. So, you know, I can give Nintendo kudos for that. At least they're giving us something to try.
Well, I guess during this trial, we need to let them know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people need to let them know what's up with this shit.
Pay for it.
Yeah, that's fine. So basically, like, another thing about paid online, if we want to be paying online,
how much is it?
Nintendo better have a lot of their IPs online. If they come out with another Mario,
it can't just be Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Splatoon, and ARMS.
Mario Golf, they better be online. If it's what else?
Mario Tennis,
Mario Party, Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, all those games need to have online now if you're paying for
Mario
it.
Party. Oh my God! If Mario Party does not have online, I swear to God.
There was a lot of games that was on the Wii U that we thought it was going
to
be online.
Like Star Fox.
But how did you miss that one? That's the funny part.
Oh, that's their biggest. That's my biggest concern. If we could be paying for online, then I'm hoping that this online is not just
the crazy thing is, like, smaller titles like
it turned out trying to depend on third parties. So
yeah, they're not going to turn up. Like, come on.
To even take this online seriously. So that was my biggest concern.
The thing I'm a little less worried about that, because, like, even on the 3DS, smaller games, like even that Zelda what the hell is that
Triforce Heroes.
Is that what it's called? Triforce Heroes. Even that had online.
Let's give the floor to real quick. Let Real go ahead and give his thoughts out.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, with the Wii U, like, it was a whole bunch of games that it would have been perfect online. So that's what I was talking about. Like, we paying this subscription service, then make sure you put all your IPs online. If you're not doing that, then we'll call the bullshit, and I will tell everybody, don't support it. Matter of fact, Nintendo guys play Nintendo for a single player, just to be honest. But if they're getting more serious with the online, then I'll be happy. If their online is a lot better than the Wii U, I'll be happy. If I can actually play a Smash Brothers, if I could just get a good match of Smash Brothers, I will be happy. I couldn't even get a good match with Smash Brothers for a long time, so I gave up on it. You know, this is 2017. Like, Nintendo, come on, man. Come on. With the whole entire integrating our voice chat and party chat on our smartphone, look, that's a good idea. But a lot of gamers don't like that idea. I would like for them to integrate on the console itself. Like, give us an option to either do the phone or do the console. A lot of people do not like that. It could be a good idea. It could be interesting, but we don't know. We just have to find out and let time will tell. Like, Nintendo left a lot of unanswered questions on the table that confused a lot of people. But whenever you start a 20-minute conference over some casual shit, like, it's like we're going through that cycle again. So that's why a lot of people pissed off about the presentation. But overall, it's about the games. When they showed that we was getting Splatoon 2 this year, the new Mario, the Zelda, the freaking Xenoblade, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that's 5 heavy hitters coming out this year. When was the last time we had 5 heavy hitter Nintendo games came out 1 year?
It's been a while. Let's go ahead and segue, because we're kind of reaching the 30-minute line. So I didn't mean to cut you off like that, Real. We'll have more chance to dialogue and talk more about this stuff. But I'm just gonna go ahead and give my brief thoughts before we go ahead and move on to our next topic. And I'm just gonna give my little thoughts. And a lot of it I agree with y'all. Like, as far as the presentation is concerned, I have some issues with the price. I think it was a missed opportunity to have the Pro controller in a separate SKU. I think that would have made a lot of gamers really happy if maybe they would have had like a separate bundle that had the Pro controller included, or maybe even a separate bundle that had a game included. As far as the online is concerned, that has been a huge deal for me. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know exactly how much of a big deal it is. I've been ranting about it ever since Thursday, and people have been telling me to calm down because we don't know yet what's going on. And I'm like, nah, fam. Nah,
not this time. Not happening.
The same thing happened with the Wii, bro. People was like, just tell Nintendo how you feel, blah, blah, blah. And they never changed it, bro.
Yep.
So I'm letting them know now, early, and I'm letting fellow Nintendo fans know, like, hey, we're beta testing this online until fall. We need to be very transparent and very vocal with them, especially between March and fall, what we like, what we don't like, because they're going to try to finesse us out of our pockets without giving us exactly what we want. So,
you don't want a PS4 situation where you're paying for PS3 online this time.
That is some sticky stuff.
It's a fact.
But yeah, like, I don't want it to be a situation where they're basically finessing us for Wii U tier online. You know what I mean? Like, they have to give us something that's worthy. They have to make sure that it's valuable to us as a consumer.
Yeah, because you're paying for it this time. Don't come at us with none of that. We have to wait and see nonsense.
Nah,
we waited and we saw what happened with the Wii U. It's not happening again. We're not doing it again.
Like, I feel like if you let Nintendo know your expectations
early,
then they know what to expect. They know what their consumer wants. They know which direction to go into further. Because I understand this is the first time that Nintendo's doing a paid subscription. And when I express my concerns, it's not to be ugly to Nintendo. It's letting Nintendo know, hey,
I'm really concerned.
If you want my money, this is what I expect. If you want my money, these are the types of services that I need to see if you want my money. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty
and
much
we already have one very concerning thing, and that comes with the free game that you get per month. It's just an NES title or a Super NES title, and you get it for 1 month, and then they take it away.
But see, the thing about that is I'm hearing other things too about that. I'm hearing that it's a situation where you get to keep them as long as you're subbed. It's just the online that'll be, because like the virtual console games you're supposed to get with the sub comes with online. Like, say if
only the Super Nintendo ones do.
Only the Super Nintendo. Like, okay, so like say if there's like, I don't know, like Super Mario World, like you could be like Luigi, like me and you could play like Mario Luigi, like you all the way in Canada, something like that. So I'm waiting to hear about that detail, because that's kind of conflicting. But on the website,
from what I read, it says you get it for 1 month and then they change it, because that was in an interview with Reggie.
Was it?
Yeah, see, that's what I read.
I'm not here for that, because I know that there was some developer, he was saying that it's more like if you keep your sub, then you keep the game. But anyway,
hopefully, that obviously is the better way to do it. And like Sony and Microsoft already do it like that, so why would you
that's the problem.
Take the game away?
That's why it's causing.
They don't look outside of themselves.
Dude,
hopefully, it was just some sort of mistranslation.
I hope so, but knowing Nintendo, you gotta expect the worst. So let's go ahead and move away from this topic. I hope it doesn't seem like I'm breezing through this too fast, but we are like at the 30-minute mark and we still have like 2 topics. So now we're gonna go into the pros. What exactly we liked? Like, should we do this roundtable style? Should we do free for all? Because I want to make sure that everybody has their voices heard. You know what? How about this?
Roundtable was good.
Roundtable works. Let's do it.
Roundtable's good.
Switch up the order this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it over to my boy Sax. Go ahead.
Oh, you got the Joy-Con, son.
What you saw.
I got the Joy-Con. So of course, I think everybody can unanimously agree that that Breath of the Wild trailer was like godly. It was godly.
That Breath of the Wild trailer is crazy.
I was
Oh my
so
God.
hyped. It was so much.
I've seen it so many times.
There was so many little things in that trailer that was how a trailer should be done for a game. Like,
Oh yeah.
that presentation could single-handedly make someone go out and buy a Switch for that game if it was Switch only. I think it was amazing, and it showed that when Nintendo, actually puts their mind to something. I hate to sound like a teacher, but when they put their mind to something, like, they can do something great. And after that, it gets a little harder to think about the positive things, really. I do like how so far it looks like a really nice combined effort between Nintendo's handheld partners and their console partners, because we know they consolidated the whole handheld and console divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see that for anyone who was interested in Nintendo's handhelds, but maybe were a little, I guess, pushed away by the fact that it may have been a handheld for whatever reason. Some people just don't like to play handhelds. It looks like a good proposition for them. Oh, well, I like Fire Emblem, but I really didn't want to play it on a 3DS. Now I can play it on the Switch. I can dock it up to the TV. I can play Fire Emblem from the television, since we haven't had a console Fire Emblem since GameCube, I think.
Yeah. Well, no, the Wii.
The Wii had one.
The Wii? Oh, okay, the Wii did have one. All right. So, another good example is Monster Hunter. Most of the recent Monster Hunter iterations have been on 3DS. But I know that I feel like I couldn't play Monster Hunter on the handheld after playing Monster Hunter 3U on the Wii U. So,
oh no, after that I could not go back to no handheld. Heck no.
So it's like, I think that the idea of them bringing everything they have to offer into one central location is awesome. Is either a lot of people either say that's the worst console ever or the best handheld ever, and I definitely see it as the best handheld ever. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Real, what are some pros that you saw from the show?
First of all, it's the games. That's the pros. Like, games sells consoles, man. Like I say, you got all these big heavy hitters that's coming out this year. Zelda sells consoles. Mario sells consoles. Mario Kart sells consoles.
Yep.
Splatoon surprisingly sells consoles. So that was my big thing about the show. The presentation was but the games that sold me. I know that they said they got like 80 plus games in development. That's promising. That's exciting. I'm still on the fence about that. The Switch the Switch part, the handheld part, is the reason why I'm excited about it, because we have options. That's one thing that Nintendo did not give us last generation with the Wii, a lack of options. Like, if we want to play with the Pro Controller, we can't, because some of those games we have to play with the gamepad. So we get all of these options. If you want to play with the tablet, we want to play with the Joy-Cons, play with the Pro Controller. You play however you want to fucking play it. You want to put it on a dock, use it as a home console. You want to take it on the go, play it as a handheld. I love that. That is the selling point of this console. Even though Reggie Fils-Aimé said that they're not trying to basically outstir their 3DS owners, but that's bullshit, guys. That's
you already know what's gonna happen, dude.
Yeah, that's be real. Just think if Pokemon Stars come out, this rumor Pokemon Stars come out for the Switch, and all of a sudden 10 million copies of Pokemon Stars just sell on the Switch within a month, and 10 million Switch get sold out, and all of a sudden we can't find a Switch for the next 2 years. Like, just come on, man. And if that happens, then why the hell 3DS should even exist?
Man, so, look, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I'm gonna be real brief. I was on. Excuse me, I'm a little underweather too. I was on my homie Fame Entertainment, his page. He is the host of the TIC the Double XP podcast, okay? And like, we talked about our predictions for our respective favorite companies of 2017, right? And he asked me to come on the show to give my perspective on Nintendo. And I told them, and they were shocked that I said this, but I told them, I said, if the Nintendo Switch does what Nintendo wants it to do, I can guarantee you, well, I'm already pretty sure this is happening anyway, that the 3DS is on its way out, my guy. Like, every game that you would expect to see on a 3DS,
it's over. It's going to the Switch.
And we already saw that on Thursday. A lot of people keep blowing me off when I say that, but it's already happening. if you looked at that presentation on Thursday, what did you see? A lot of Square Enix support,
Yeah.
a lot of Atlas support, Koei Tecmo support,
A lot of games that were usually on the 3DS.
Right.
Yeah,
a lot of
we've
games
already got the rumor that Fire Emblem Fates is getting ported as well.
Exactly.
I want
That's
those.
what I've
I
been
want
trying
those
to
two
tell.
Kirby games, by the way. Hello, Robobot and Triple Deluxe. I would like those. Yeah.
That's what I keep trying to tell people. Like this is Nintendo's format going forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we're never gonna see another Nintendo home console. We're never gonna see another Nintendo handheld. It's
always gonna be hybrids going forward.
There's a reason why they merged
right,
and it makes the most sense for them.
Yeah, they merged it together because they know there's gonna be a good selling point, giving us a choice. Either we want to play on the handheld or play it at home. That's just basically how it is. Nintendo has always been king within handhelds for over 25 years. And I don't understand why people keep blowing off Nintendo's handhelds. They keep on saying they're trash. Nintendo games are trash.
They've been doing great.
That's all these guys can say.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, I asked an individual, I'm not gonna say his name, I asked an individual. I was like, okay, you talking about okay, the Wii is garbage and you saying the Switch is garbage, but what happened if the 3DS owners come and bought a Switch? What you have to say? He didn't have to say nothing. All he said was the 3DS is garbage. Is that all you gotta say? It's the 3DS is garbage? I'm talking about
no counter argument.
Marketing the Switch to they're not marketing system to the PlayStation owners or the Xbox owners or the PC owners. They market it to their handheld owners and their console owners.
I love JRPGs. The 3DS guys are coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll even bring Sony guys over because Sony, PlayStation guys like JRPGs.
PlayStation loves JRPGs. PlayStation guys. So that's the selling point of the system. It's the Switch, and a lot of people just being salty about it, man. So let them stay salty. You know, like I said, there's a lot of cons about this, but at the end of the day, it's about the games. Like these are big heavy hitters. Just think about if Sony comes out with The Last of Us, Uncharted 5, maybe a new Jack and Dexter, a Gran Turismo, all in the same year. Just think about that.
That would be hype as hell, dude.
Just think about that. That's how us Nintendo fans feel about this year.
Exactly. There's a lot of good like Nintendo exclusives coming out this year in 20s. Like the launch lineup is very scarce. I won't give y'all that, but the whole 2017 is looking pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got, man.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Alex. Alex, give your pros about what's going on right now with the Nintendo Switch.
Okay, there's a lot of good stuff that came out of that presentation in between the cringe and in between the bad stuff. Obviously, the first one that we saw was Mario Odyssey. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is the Mario game we've been waiting for since the N64. The first truly open world sandbox Mario game.
Thanks.
Unbelievable. My jaw was dropped when I saw that. I want it so bad. The only thing that sucks is they said it's the end of the year, but whatever, it's coming this year. So that is one hell of a way to end off 2017. We saw ARMS, which is a new IP. Kind of has apparently it's made by the Mario Kart 8 team. Which is cool. Crazy. They're very high level devs.
It's gonna be quality.
Yeah, it's gonna be polished. It's gonna run well. The game looks cool. I'm not a big fighting game guy, but like for a fighting game, that looks really fun. It looks like Splatoon mixed with boxing, so that's pretty cool. They showed Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 looks great. New levels, new weapons. They didn't spend a lot of time talking about it, but from what I saw at the Treehouse, it looks really good. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They finally brought the battle mode.
I know. That garbage.
They finally brought the battle mode, something we've been crying for since the game launched, and it's here. I'm excited. There's some guys out there who don't want these port games, but like, too bad, so sad. They're here, and they're the better version. Deal with it. Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 2, oh my god, it looks so good. How are we getting Xenoblade this close after Xenoblade Chronicles X? I do not know, and I do not care, because that game looks amazing.
I know.
Those dudes are awesome. And they helped out, with Zelda.
And Monolith helped with Zelda, by the way.
Yeah.
Monolith.
Big ass world.
We got Bomberman. Bomberman's back.
Yay.
Who saw that coming?
Very dope for retro gamers.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2 HD. It's $40. I think that's too expensive, but the game looks fun, and everybody knows Street Fighter 2 is the best Street Fighter of all time. Street Fighter 5 is trash. Sorry. Then we have the Big Daddy, Zelda.
Oh my God.
Closing out the show. Game of the Year 2017. You can't tell me otherwise. Fuck your Mass Effect. Fuck your Horizon. Fuck everything else that you like. Nothing compares to Zelda. That trailer is quite possibly the greatest game trailer I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
We didn't bring one thing up. The local multiplayer up to 8 switches. We didn't bring that up.
Yeah, I am about to. I liked how they actually showed you this time that you can connect 8 switches together. You can do it. I think you can do it with Splatoon. You can do it with Mario Kart 8. So that is like the rebirth of LAN parties, really. You just go to anyone's house. Everyone brings their own Switch, and that you cannot tell me that's not going to be crazy amounts of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because the only reason local play doesn't work anymore because nobody wants to go to someone's house like that anymore. Like with this, you can go anywhere.
True.
And I don't know. I think they're gonna get it right this time. I like the idea of it. And you could bring your Switch to someone's house, and then you can just pass out Joy-Cons if you just have the one Switch. So that works too. So Mario Party's gonna be a lot better this time. Mario Kart's gonna be a lot better. Splatoon will be fun that way. It was mostly the games. The games is what saved the show, to be honest. They confirmed 80 games in development. That's nice to hear. I wish they had shown more, but that's just what it is. They'll show more later. They teased Fire Emblem Warriors. That's exciting. I guess that's it. That was the 5 major titles. There was a lot of good stuff there. Yeah.
So Kuuppon, what about you? Pros?
Same thing. I'm surprised nobody mentioned this, but no region locking finally.
Yeah.
That is always a good thing because that was getting annoying. Although I'm pretty sure I won't really need to utilize it, but for those of you out there who are looking to, get certain games that may not make it over or whatever, you can do it that way. I like the fact that that the Switch inherits like aspects of all the different game systems that they have and kind of puts it into one. That was nice that they.
That's a confirmation that this is their format going forward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I also wanted to read off this quick little list of every game that's currently either in development or coming out or whatever, and I'm just gonna kind of breeze through it. And these are all of my pros. So you got 1-2 Switch, you got The Legend of Zelda, Snipper Clips, Just Dance 2017, Skylanders, Imagineers, Super Bomberman R, I Am Setsuna, Has Been Heroes, Mario Kart 8, Constructor HD, ARMS, Sonic Mania, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Lego City Undercover, Red Out, The Binding of Isaac, Splatoon 2, The Elder Scrolls, NBA 2K18, Super Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, FIFA, Wonder Boy, Fire Emblem Warriors, No More Heroes, Dragon Quest X, Dragon Quest XI, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, Project Octopath Traveler, Minecraft Switch Edition, Minecraft Story, Rayman Legends, Shin Megami Tensei, Siberia 3, Steep, Project Sonic 2017, Ultra Street Fighter 2, Arcade Archives, Disgaea 5 Complete, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, an untitled Tales game, an untitled Taiko Drum Master, finally Taiko Drum.
The Tales of game? Wow.
Yeah, that's in development. Fast RMX or Fast Racing Neo, I believe. An untitled Blaze Blue game is coming. New Frontier Days, awesome. Shovel Knight, Cube Life, Rhyme, Dungeon of Czar, Tank It, Yooka-Laylee is coming. Yay. Monster Boy, and Cursed Kingdom, an untitled Nobunaga's Ambition, Riverside, The Sacred Hero, Seasons of Heaven, and Strawdew Valley. So those are all the games currently in development and or coming. Maybe not this year, but are that's what we got coming. So it's a lot of games. There's slated games. That's what we need for this thing to actually be that's basically what I needed. I needed to know that there was games in development, on the way, and coming. And then you got the hard hitters that are coming with, you got launch with Zelda, and then you got things coming down the line with Splatoon and all those, and Mario Kart and all that stuff. There's a possibility we might get some Kirby coming back on fucking console finally.
You don't want that
oh my god, finally.
You don't want that Rainbow Curse?
Huh?
You want that Rainbow Curse?
Rainbow Trash?
I said real Kirby. You didn't hear
real Kirby.
So, we get a real Kirby back. We get, we'll probably get a real Kirby back. Some other games that we've been missing. Metroid, I'm sure, is coming. A real one, not Federation.
Coming.
It's coming. You just got to be more patient. We're probably going to get a real a real Star Fox.
I hope so.
I'm sorry, you guys. I don't see an F-Zero coming anytime soon, but it's possible. So hold your breath.
F-Zero might be like a
It might be
2018 or 2019 game.
Yeah, it might be something down the line, but there's possibilities. I do see a Bayonetta 3 coming.
Oh, that's coming for sure.
I see that coming, so
Yeah.
we'll see that. And there's just
She's a Nintendo princess now.
Yeah, there's endless possibilities now. She's the Nintendo queen, forget that.
Yeah.
So there's endless possibilities, and that was mainly my pros of the show. Is at least we have some things coming down the line. I was just more worried about the games overall than anything else. And when they started showing the games, I was like, okay, cool, they're going in the right direction. Plus, they got like their younger devs working on games. They've merged their developers together into one house, so they'll be able to pump out games a lot better. And they're starting to make more to bridge the gaps between various third parties. And by the way, third parties are on Nintendo, just not the kind you're used to, which are North America type Western third parties. Those guys aren't going to be the main focus. It's going to be your Japanese third parties and some Westerns. But for the most part, you're not going to get the same third parties.
And a lot of indie stuff, too.
Exactly.
A lot of indie stuff. But you got third parties, so stop crying about it. Done.
They didn't specify.
All right.
Like we did see FIFA, and it's a specific version for the Switch. We saw NBA, we saw Skyrim also.
We can all agree that 2014 was the Wii's best year.
Of course.
We can also agree that this year's lineup for the Switch shits on the Wii's 2014 lineup. Can we all agree with that?
I can agree to that.
Okay, so why
you got Zelda, you got Splatoon 2, you got Mario.
By the way,
you got Mario Kart.
I think you switch out Zelda and Bayonetta 2. Those are kind of the ones that flip out because both years had Mario Kart. Both years had 2014 had Smash.
True.
Smash and Mario Kart, Bayonetta, Hyrule Warriors, Donkey Kong.
That was a good year.
We're getting a new IP this year.
Yeah.
Even though people don't want to acknowledge it, ARMS is a new IP, folks.
Of course it is. Who's saying it's not?
1-2 Switch and Snipper.
There's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I want to see something new from Nintendo's." Like, you got a whole new IP
generation. We never got
marketing the hell out of it. Like
I know it's not. I know not some of these new IPs aren't everything everybody's looking for, but they are new IPs, and you got to give them a chance. So.
Exactly. It's basically going to be Punch Out on steroids. So I'm going to give my.
I'm actually happy.
They're low key as a little cameo.
I think it was smart for them not to use that IP. I think it was good for them to make a new one.
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't make an actual Punch Out,
because Punch Out wouldn't work with that what they're trying to do.
It's not going to work now, right? Yeah, not with what they were trying to do. So it would be nice if they just had Little Mac as a cameo character or something. But
I would love to see.
I'm glad they made it.
They're going to make another sequel to the Punch Out.
Maybe they will.
I would love to see Wireframe, like the Wireframe Little Mac.
That could work, I guess.
That would be nice.
Like, and his wires are stretch out. Like, that's just like
that would probably work.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and give my pros, and then we're going to move on. I think we pretty much talked about what we would like, what we think what we wish could have been explored more when we talked about our cons. So I don't really think we need to spend a whole lot of time on that. Let's see. So as far as my pros is a little bit different than some people's. I'm actually happy that Nintendo actually improved on motion. I like motion. I think that it adds something interesting and fresh to gaming. But
it's trash.
I like motion when it's optional.
Done right.
I don't want it, and when it's done right. Like, I don't want it forced on me. Like, don't get me wrong. I like a lot of motion games on the Wii, but like when you had, like, say for example, Twilight Princess on the Wii, super waggle, dude. I would have loved to have the option to just use traditional controls, but they're not going to do it right.
The Skyward Sword was ruined for me because of motion controls.
Skyward Sword had the best motion.
No, I love
it's garbage. Sword. Like if they let me play that game with the standard controller, I would have enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
Really, Alex?
It's trash, but I hate motion controls.
I can't rock with that.
It's
but
garbage.
Let me go ahead and move on. I'm glad that they're actually trying to improve on that idea, because I don't like it when the game developers do something and then they just completely drop it all together. Like, if you're gonna do it, go forward with it, improve on it, and try to get it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something with it. Like, that's one of the things I didn't like about the gamepad. They gave us this really interesting idea, right? But then they didn't really utilize it. It's like, they're giving us this dope idea, or it could have been dope if they used it right, but instead they squandered it. So it's like, we're really paying all of this money just to have this shell of a freaking thing that doesn't really do anything except for hinder our games, doesn't allow us to get into our menus the way that we want. It was just a really big nuisance, right? So with the Switch, you know, it's optional, and they're trying to make that.
They did it right
better.
this time. This time you can play with normal controls, or you can play with Weirdo West motion controls, whatever. It's up to you this time. That was always my issue with the Wii U.
And they force
you to do things.
I will be using the motion. That's the optimal way
definitely.
Then you will be losing. Because while you're out here going like this, running out of air, huffing and puffing and shit, we'll be standing here using normal controls and whipping your ass.
Let me tell you this. When it comes down to console gaming, like IR pointing is the most accurate when it comes down to console gaming. I think that it was a novel idea. Like, to me, it's keyboard and mouse, then it's motion, and then it's regular controller. That's just me.
Motion controls are good for shooting games.
I'm gonna move on. I don't want to harp too much on that. So we got a new IP, ARMS. Like, I'm not really like a fighter type person either, but I like real goofy games. Like when Splatoon came out, I watched endless amounts of gameplay when it was on the Treehouse. Like, I watched so many Splatoon gameplay videos after they announced it because it was so goofy and colorful and different. Like, I love that. So when I saw ARMS, I was like, yo, I could see myself getting into this. Like, I wouldn't play a hard body. It would probably just be something that I would play like here and there when I'm not playing my Zeldas and, you know, my Mario Kart and stuff like that. But I can see myself getting into it and playing it if they actually put the content in there to support something like that. Because I could probably get tired of it if it's only just the 1v1 brawling. Like, I hope there's some other modes and stuff that you can do, like a campaign or something, right? Splatoon 2, dope. A lot of people keep saying that Splatoon 2 is not a real sequel, but they have different animations now. And they have different guns,
I don't understand why people are saying that.
I don't understand. I think that when people say stuff like that, they want like the genre to change something.
Like, that doesn't make sense because it's the same people. Yeah. Like, you're the same guys who are gonna go out and buy Call of Duty every year, and you call that a new game. But right? how is
going to be an RTS or something? Like, what do you mean?
It doesn't make sense. It's all new maps. They switched up every finishing move in the game.
Exactly.
And all the clothes and hairstyles are all new. Like, what do you mean?
A new plaza. And
they got jetpacks now, right?
Yeah, they got jetpacks.
Whole new plaza, like whole new maps. Like, everything is new.
There's no old maps in that game at all.
It doesn't make sense.
It's just people being salty.
It's not like Mario Kart. Mario Kart, all the tracks are the same. They just added battle mode.
Now that's the same.
Yeah. Didn't they add a Splatoon track?
That's for the battle mode.
Yeah, for the battle.
Yeah, and you can play as the Inklings now.
And even people are saying the same thing about Super Mario Odyssey. Like, it's the same old Mario. There's so many new mechanics in this Mario, and that's why I was excited.
Oh my god, that's so frustrating.
That's just people finding stuff just to find.
That's just them crying because they have four Forza games in one generation.
Right.
Like, I'm not even a Mario fan, dude. But when he was like riding on the little dog, I guess he made the little dog statue come to life.
Yeah.
And then he threw the hat, and he used the hat as a platform.
When has he ever used his hat? That's what I want to know. When has he ever used his hat?
So, like, with this game,
new mechanics.
Like, exactly, new mechanics, new animations.
He's in the freaking New York of all places. Well,
Donk City, New Donk City.
Donk City, but New York.
I hope that means we get to fight Donkey Kong.
Oh, right? Man. And you ain't never seen Mario move the way he moves.
Yeah, he moves like he does in the cell phone game. Because you know, in the cell phone game, they added he's more fluid in that game.
Yes. And like when he was going down to that city that looks like it was like modeled after like a South American city, like how he rolled down into the city, like new mechanics.
Lots of new mechanics for him.
I don't understand people, dude. I don't get it. But anyway, I'm gonna move on.
But you know, Uncharted 4 is amazing, right? The fucking wall simulator.
Oh Jesus, we could get into that with the community responses. So another pro, Monolith Soft. Anything is a pro with Monolith Soft to me. Like you guys said, I would have preferred Xenoblade Chronicles X2, but I think we're gonna see that because remember
that'll happen eventually.
That new building, yeah. Because remember, like what was it like 2014, 2015? Monolith Soft grew. They moved into this big ass building. They probably got enough people to make multiple games at once now.
I think they are after Zelda, they're the best team Nintendo has.
Yes. Oh my god. Anyway, Xenoblade 2 for to be fire.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Shout out to the Scalebound Dragon. Shout out to the Scalebound Dragon.
Oh yeah, if you are an Xbox fan and you're missing your Scalebound, perhaps you should get a Switch and enjoy Xenoblade 2 because it's the closest thing you're gonna get. Because Phil Spencer stole your game.
Okay, continue.
You all right?
Wow. Good shot.
Boom.
Hey, at least I'm taking shots. I'm not taking exclusives away.
He definitely
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna move on.
moving on.
Pros, positivity.
Wusa.
So Fire Emblem Warriors was one of my predictions in our last Team Red Talks Nintendo,
Oh,
and
me
I
and
was
you
exactly
both.
right.
High five. High five.
I was
High
wrong.
five, boo. High five.
High five.
The obvious choice was
Ooh,
Mario Warriors.
Stick with the
Ooh,
diva, and
and
diva
listen.
gets what diva
So I
wants.
guess what that means is that
Listen.
Miyamoto shirt was teasing there's going to be some sort of Japanese stage in that Mario game.
Oh, but
Probably.
listen. Maybe.
Probably.
But listen. They showed that sword. I don't know whose sword it looks like, either Marth's sword
It
or
looks like Chrome, maybe Chrome or
Is
Marth.
it Chrome sword? I don't know, dude.
That was
One of
Chrome's
them.
sword.
As soon
One of
as,
them. I think it was Chrome sword.
as soon as they started playing the Fire Emblem theme, I went nuts. Like, if you go watch the live reaction on my channel, me and Kuuppon went bananas.
If Ike is not in that game, I'm not buying it.
I
No,
know,
my
right?
baby daddy gotta be in it.
Ike's
gotta
my
have Ike
boy.
in
I
there.
need Ike.
Like, if they
Ike
don't have
is
Ike
my
in
guy.
there, I'm gonna be upset.
We need my boy Ike. I'm also excited for Dragon Quest 11. This will probably be the first Dragon Quest I ever played, because I always wanted to play Dragon Quest.
This dude
But I
said
never
Phil
wanted to play it on
Spencer wanted
3DS.
Scalebound to be Forza bound. That's why they canceled it.
Oh my god.
Wow. And then they showed Kimigami Tensei is getting the game. That's always the game I wanted to play, but I never wanted to play it on that little ass screen. Project Octopath, it looks cool, but I need to see more. I don't really care about Skyrim, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be people out there that actually care about portable Skyrim. No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes 3. No More
But
Heroes
apparently
3.
it's not that though. It's a new IP.
He said he was making a no more. Like he
said it's a new
after the show.
IP teaming
Like,
up with an
there's no
indie
IP,
character.
Oh, it's gonna star Travis Touchdown?
No, it's a new game starring Travis Touchdown and co-starring an indie developer game.
Yeah, but they're
Okay.
also in development is No More Heroes 3. It's on that
'Cause
list
I
I just
just-
read out.
Right, because there was a news story that went out that Suda he confirmed that he was starting development after the presentation that he was working on No More Heroes.
Like he said he wants
then he
to
gave
lead the charge to help indies get better.
That's
yeah.
good.
No, I'm not talking about at the show. I'm talking about after the show.
Okay.
There was some details that came out of what he wanted to do with No More Heroes 3.
Oh, okay.
And after the show that he said that he was gonna start working on.
I'm hoping they bring
Heroes
No More
3.
Heroes 1 and 2 as a remaster though.
I know.
I hope so, too.
They need to. They need to.
And of course, to drop the mic, freaking that Zelda trailer.
Oh.
That Zelda trailer. I cried after that Zelda
That's like a
Zelda
drop the
trailer,
mic
dude.
moment.
That
Zelda
Zelda
trailer.
trailer.
I've seen it so many times and I
Voice acting,
still
voice
get
acting.
chills. It's so good.
Man, and full voice acting. Holy crap.
No link though.
Like,
Thank you. They did it right.
When Zelda just
Started
burst out-
She
crying.
just broke down.
She bust out crying. I was like, Zelda, no.
Like, no, help her.
That shit was hype, man. That shit was hype.
No.
That is probably one of the best game trailers. Like,
So do you think Zelda's gonna get Game of the Year this year?
Yeah.
Zelda never gets Game of the Year. That's
I don't really think exclusive. I don't really think
Usually it's a
exclusive in general
multiplat.
get Game of the Year. Yeah, usually it's a multiplat.
It's just
that
based
gets Game
on
of the Year.
numbers because more people for multi-plat games will vote for that game. Because there's 3 platforms to vote
I
for
don't
it.
know, man. I don't know.
It's obviously gonna be the best game that comes out this year.
We did get we did get an FPS only online shooter for
Yeah,
Game of the Year.
like somehow Baby Watch won
So-
for 2016, so I don't know about that.
I'm just saying, Zelda's better than that. So I mean, it's possible.
But it's an exclusive though.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people are not gonna play it because it's exclusive. That's one of the things with exclusives in the Game of the Year awards, is that not everybody gets to play it. So usually, like multi-platform games are the ones that.
Oh,
get
didn't
the-
Uncharted 2 win Game of the Year?
No.
Did it?
Did it?
I don't remember that.
I don't know.
Was it 2 or 3?
No,
Uncharted.
Two was a long time ago.
It's
Where they weren't even
yes.
doing the Video Games Award back then.
Yeah,
I know,
don't
like
think
some individual sites might have Zelda as their Game of the Year, but as far as the actual Game of the Year show, Zelda's not getting Game of the Year.
Nah.
Even though it probably should.
Zelda. faith in
That's
humanity.
Zelda, though. I'm sorry. Like there was so many hype things in that Zelda trailer, man. You had a Gerudo woman who might be Naburu. I guess that's how you say her name. There was a freaking Goron, freaking Sora. What's
The
the
Great
girl
Fairy
called?
was there.
The
The Great Fairy.
The Deku Tree was there.
The
Yeah.
Deku Tree.
Oh my god! This is Ocarina of Time 2. This is. I know this got to be Ocarina of Time.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
This Ocarina of Time, this generation.
Yes.
I think it's like a
No,
reimagining of the NES game.
It is.
Yeah.
It is like
It's their original vision, but this time they have the hardware for it.
But they have all of the races from the Ocarina of Time game, though. Is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
But they look.
The Gerudo ain't been in no other game but Ocarina of Time. Like, when has there ever been a Gerudo person?
Yeah, the Gerudo
in
haven't.
the other
Yeah, they
Zelda?
only showed up in Ocarina of Time, so it's
Wasn't Gerudo
Exactly.
in like Princess?
no.
I thought
No, the Gerudo only showed up in one game. I'm telling you, it was Ocarina of Time.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think it's an Ocarina of Time sequel, because that's the only time you ever seen the Gerudo. But anyway,
So,
I'm gonna get off that.
Yeah, that's something to
This
speculate
is
about.
this is making me just hype. Oh my god,
Look
Zelda's
at
my
her.
life. I'm
What's
sorry,
third?
like
What's third?
Zelda's the reason why I'm a gamer, dude. I'm sorry. Anyway,
Yeah, I
so
agree.
let's go ahead and talk about some things that has been going on in the community. My boy, Real Gamer, I'm gonna let you take the charge, my guy.
I'll be right back.
You've been going ham.
I did my due diligence, man. You the host.
I'm gonna let you take the charge because
What do
to
I
be
got?
honest, I'm
Because
really
you are our local resident Crumbside King.
I don't really pay attention to all of that stuff because
Nah,
I
man.
like what I like, and I'm gonna talk about what I like.
Fun
I don't
fun
really pay
fact, I
attention
was
to-
actually arguing with Zaire on Twitter while we were doing this podcast. Fun fact.
But one thing I can say though is like I'll say this. I understand that a lot of the games that we're showing are not everybody's cup of tea, because a lot of games, like we did say earlier today, are normally games you would see on a 3DS. That means Japanese RPGs, or obscure titles, hack and slash type games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That doesn't really appeal to everybody. But you got people out here really saying that the Switch is not going to have games in 2017. Like, that's just a straight up fallacy, period. No matter how you look at it. Like, the launch lineup, the launch lineup is scarce. I'm not damage controlling for that. If you don't like Zelda, there's nothing for you on the Switch. So you would be best to wait till like Splatoon 2 or Mario Kart if you never played it, or maybe wait until the holiday season for that Mario Odyssey, right? But for the entirety of 2017, there's a lot of heavy hitting Nintendo made IPs that are slated for 2017. Xenoblade, I don't really know. Xenoblade, I kind of question whether or not Xenoblade 2 is coming in 2017. But if it does come out in 2017, I mean, that's better for us, right?
Yeah.
But that's really my only gripe is like people saying that, you know, there's nothing really for it in 2017. It's like, it's one thing if you say there's nothing for me in 2017, but to say that there's nothing at all coming for 2017 is like, I kind of gotta call you bluff a little bit on that. But that's pretty much all I have for that. Real, do you want me to save you for last, or you want to go after me, or what do you feel about that?
This is your show. Whatever you want to do.
All right, well, I'm gonna hand it off to Alex then. He sound like he got something to say over there.
Oh,
He got something
Y'all
to say.
finna turn it
You're a
up.
drama
God
king.
damn.
I'm the drama king now. All right, I got a lot of things to
I
say.
ain't with all of that.
So
Y'all go
let's
ahead.
start with the most obvious thing. A lot of these dudes simply do not get it. They don't get what this console is about. They don't understand why it's catered to Nintendo fans first. For whatever reason, these mouth breathers, these morons, imbeciles, have it in their head that this is gonna be some generic third-party multi-plat box to play the exact same games that they already have on their Xbox and their PlayStation and their PC. For some reason, a Nintendo console to these people does not signify that it's going to focus on Nintendo games. And a lot of them have this obsession with power. You play on console, yet you're obsessed with power. Your console's a toy. Your toy is something to play games on. Why are you so concerned with power? You want to play on PC. Everything else is a toy.
Facts.
It's a
Ever
fact.
since I started, like my homie Sack said this on Twitter today. Ever since I started playing on PC, my guy, everything on consoles has looked like straight up trash.
Yeah.
Dude. But I play
Yeah,
games because they're
facts.
fun.
It's a fact.
know?
Like, even the most beautiful game on console, which I think right now is Uncharted 4, that might be one of the best looking games on console, than Gears of War 4. I played Gears of War 4 on my Xbox, then I played it on PC. It's not comparable. It's much better on PC. So you're
Right.
playing with toys, and your Scorpio's a toy. So why are you concerned with power? You're concerned
These
with
are
the.
Xbox guys, mind you.
This is majority of the people that are not happy with this console seem to be Xbox guys. Maybe that's because Phil Spencer's taken all your games away. Maybe because Phil Spencer's made your console irrelevant. Maybe because Phil Spencer has turned Xbox into nothing more than a Windows app, and it hurts you. And you're trying to take it out on somebody else,
Wow.
Zaire. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. Because as far as I can see, PlayStation guys are mainly happy because it's getting a lot of JRPGs. You know what's funny? The Switch as a console has more diversity in how you play it than Xbox has exclusive diversity. Yeah, that's getting real. Yeah, about power. We're talking about power. The power of the console, it's not important for the kind of games Nintendo's gonna make. It's about perspective, how you look at this. This console is to bring it's the console to bring back Nintendo fans into one device. A lot of them ran off. They didn't buy a Wii U. They're all on the 3DS. They need to get these guys back. So what do? You kill off the 3DS. You kill off the Wii U. You bring them to one console. This is not.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny too because like a lot of my friends who are like they like Nintendo but they didn't really rock with the Wii U but they went to the 3DS instead. A lot of those people are actually really excited about the Switch and what kind of games that's coming for it because they miss playing Nintendo on their TV. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the thing. Like when you think about it, the games we've seen, Splatoon, Mario Kart and stuff, Zelda even. If you're coming from the Wii U graphically, it's almost the same. It looks a little better because it's higher resolution. You get better textures, better draw distance, stuff like that. You're coming from a 3DS. You're coming from a 240p display. You're gonna play HD for the first time. That's 60 million 3DS users going up to HD for the first time.
exactly.
That's a lot of people. They're gonna easily be able to cater to all the people this time because their divisions, home console and handheld, are working together this time on one device. That was the problem with the Wii U because it sold poorly. They focused only on the 3DS, left the Wii U for dead. And then we ended up with this shitty ass worthless console. That's not going to happen this time around. But again, this is not a third party multi-plat box for you. It's
this is
not.
a supplementary machine. I'm
This
sorry.
This is a secondary machine. If you don't like I'm going to be very clear with you. If you don't like Nintendo games, don't buy this thing. Because that's what this thing's gonna get. This is a secondary device. Whether that's not like Zaire likes to say this a lot. This is his what he thinks Nintendo is. And I point out Zaire because we talk. So and I'm not taking shots at Zaire. I'm not making fun of him. What he thinks Nintendo is not what they are anymore. Just like how Xbox isn't Xbox anymore. They're very different now. To him, Nintendo is a box where you get everything. Every single game comes to Nintendo. That doesn't exist anymore. Nintendo has become a box that plays Nintendo games. That was what 3-4 generations ago. It's not that anymore. And as much as you'd like it to be that, it's not because Sony and Microsoft have taken third parties. They're never gonna give them up. Deal with it. Like you don't. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get a lot of Japanese support because they support the 3DS. You're gonna get whatever support the Wii U had onto one console. You're gonna get more consistent games this time around. Again, this is a Nintendo box. It's not for anybody else. You'll get a few third-party games here and there, but be very clear. This is a Nintendo gaming system for Nintendo fans, for Nintendo products.
Exactly.
It's not a third-party multi-plat box. Why would you want to leave your friends list on Xbox? Why would you want to abandon your achievements that you've been working on for years? Why would you abandon the place you've been playing your multi-plat games for the last 2 generations? For no reason other than Nintendo got a multi-plat game. No person in their right mind would do that. That goes the same for Sony, guys. Why would you give up all your trophies, your friends list? You're going to be like, hey, guys, I'm leaving. Fuck you. I'm going to play my game on Nintendo.
Nobody's going to do
Nobody's
that.
going to do that. And that's not happening. A lot of it, I think, is because these guys, specifically Xbox guys, I haven't seen too many Sony guys doing this. Again, it's because they're bored. They have nothing to do. They lost all their exclusives. The Scorpio's coming at the end of the year. It's not going to solve a single problem Xbox has. They're never going to catch Sony this generation. The power means nothing because you're always going to be behind PC. That's just what it is. Xbox has put themselves in this situation, and you want to pass the blame over to Nintendo and the Switch. You want to divert people's attention from what's going on at Xbox. That's cool. Just know that we know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my thing is this. Like, I don't know. I guess this is I guess it's bad if you are one of those kind of people who wants one console. Like
If you're a kind of person who only can afford one console and you don't like Nintendo games, don't buy this.
Don't do it for you. But if you already have like a PC or a PS4 or an Xbox, this is gonna be like a supplementary type of deal. It's always been like that, and that's just the way it is until Nintendo gets to a point where they can get more people who don't normally play Nintendo consoles interested in their product, the people who want to buy. Like, I think that what it's gonna take for people to buy multi-platform games on Nintendo is if Nintendo completely changes the ecosystem of who plays their games.
Yeah.
But as long as it's people, as long as it's still people like us, we're just gonna get our multiplats on our PC or
elsewhere,
our Xbox.
Because like even the multiplats that do come to the console, like Nintendo's consoles, they don't sell.
Yeah.
They gotta get a whole different ecosystem. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to my boy Sax. Sax, do you want to address some things that maybe have been said that you kind of want to clear up just vocally on the mic while we're here?
Yeah, I was actually waiting for my turn. So I went on like a little rant on Twitter kind of earlier, and Nia, she was a part of it a little bit. So my philosophy in regards to things that I don't like has always been, if anyone knows who Hard 8 Times is on the Crumb side, quote unquote.
Oh wow!
Little quote is always, "What I eat don't make you shit." Basically, kind of saying, if what I do doesn't personally affect you, you shouldn't be worried about it. And I agree with that statement. I've always been, I don't really care about Microsoft or Xbox, but I don't go on my way to talk about it. Like, Active kind of went on a rant about Xbox, and like that's not my prerogative as far as gaming goes. I mean, everybody has their thing, but that's not my prerogative. I just kind of don't really talk about them too much. I might say something here or there, and that's my thing about people who are not actually Nintendo fans, but are really outspoken about the Switch and the news that came out. That news that comes out about it. Period. Even up in when it was still the NX. When there's news that favored Nintendo or didn't favor Nintendo, everybody was up in arms and spoke about it. Oh, this didn't happen. But when we got nuggets of good information, everybody kind of just brushed it off. So now everything about the Switch now is kind of for people who are not really planning to play Nintendo, it all looks bad. It's like, oh, the online has to be through a phone. It's a somewhat downclocked Tegra X1. Everybody's up in arms about it, and I'm like, well, you're not the demographic that Nintendo's really going for. While you're really kind of talking about it, or you can make your comments, you can make your 2 cents, and then go back to where you were. Like, for example, like Jack Move Johnny, he's in the chat somewhere. That's my homie, but I don't sub to him for to talk about Nintendo stuff. I don't. I sub to him because I want to hear him talk about Sony stuff. Converse, on the other side, when I was sub to someone like Dr. Trey, I didn't sub to him to hear about PlayStation stuff.
Exactly.
Or Xbox. I sub to him to hear about Nintendo stuff when I did watch his videos. With that being said, while I don't like the naysayers who want to be vocal now, I also kind of have a big issue with the people who are Nintendo fans or the core Nintendo fans speaking super optimistic about the Switch right now when everything is not sunshine, flowers, and daisies.
Exactly.
It does. The Nintendo Switch is not accessible for people like my friend Henry, who wants Nintendo to be their primary console. And right now, I'm having growing pains with Nintendo because up until maybe about a year or two ago, I've almost always played primarily on Nintendo consoles, and I may have had a PlayStation here or there, or an Xbox very briefly. But I've almost always played on Nintendo, but up on the Wii U and somewhat the Wii as well, but I wasn't really gaming too much in the Wii time. I kind of had a hiatus, but definitely with the Wii U, I just couldn't see myself owning a Wii U and just a Wii U after a while.
Exactly.
And with the Switch, I can't see it happening either. And that's not fair to anyone who would like to just own one console for everything.
Exactly. I agree with that. That's what I was saying too. Like if you want this to be your main thing, it's not for you. But like, see, I've always been a person, like I've always owned another console with my Nintendo stuff. So it's never been an issue for me. So I know to me, it's like, it's not really that big a deal, but I understand and I recognize that to a lot of people it is. And I don't want to take that away from them. Right. You know, they have the right to have concerns. They have the right to feel the way that they feel, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like you said, it's the people that have no investment that kind of it boggles me. It's like, you have no investment. Like, why does this bother you so much? You have no, like, I don't know if they're bored or if they just want to have a conversation because there's nothing else to talk about, or
I don't know. I just think like some of these people who are like as vocal as they are, like if you have a channel and stuff like that, a lot of them are just trying to get a lot of the views their way and a lot of that negative energy their way so they can get all that extra views. Some of it isn't, some of it is, but I mean, it's just, I mean, if that's the only way you can get people to click on your channel and look you up, then you probably should get rid of YouTube because you're not doing it right. This is what I'm saying. If you got to find negativity in everything around you outside of what your preferred console or whatever is, like bottom line, PC is the hands down best console you're ever going to get because it has everything across the board outside of Nintendo games. So guess what you would have to do? Get a Nintendo box, which the Switch is. And there you have every freaking game on both Sony and Xbox, and you got your Nintendo exclusives. Some Sony exclusives go to PC. Sometimes, you know, Xbox exclusive go to PC, not all the time, but I mean,
all of them now.
Now all of them. So it's like, I mean, you just have to find what works for you. If you're a gamer, and I'm talking to only gamers, not the little, I don't know, little fuckboys out there, but I'm talking to gamers. Wow. So if you are a gamer and you do like Nintendo games, and you think the Switch is a good fit for you, by all means pick it up when you get a chance, and have it be a supplement box to all your third parties and your exclusives that you get on your other box or your PC. Hands down, that's all there is to it. It's not that big a deal. And then explain to whatever company, PlayStation, Sony, all that stuff, whatever, Nintendo, and let them know what your concerns are with whatever the heck you're dealing with, and that way we all can, you know, there can be some kind of cohesion, because the gaming community has just lost their fucking nuts out of freaking hand, and it needs to calm down. Like we're all screaming at each other, screaming and hollering and bitching and moaning, and not the good information is getting out there, and gaming is getting way more expensive and too fucking annoying. And so I've just decided, fuck YouTube. I stream when I want to, and people come over and we talk shit and have a good time. And that's how gaming is going to be for me. I would hope that would be that way with everyone else, because I would love to interact with everyone else out there and be like, hey, come on over, let's play a game together, all that good stuff, because I just miss how gaming used to be, where it used to just be us talking shit with one another playfully over our video games. And yeah, we might have some disagreements, but it would never get to a point where you're looking for people's addresses, try to fight them, and all this other crap that goes on. Seriously, it's not that serious. All right. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah. When it comes down to me, like all of my expectations are for the Nintendo Switch or pretty much any Nintendo product, because I've always been a multi-console owner.
Right.
I just want a good Nintendo box.
Right.
Give me a good Nintendo box and I'm good. Give me some dope IPs. Yeah.
To me, let me pull back up and kind of run through the end of my little rant really quickly.
Okay.
the problem is for anyone who wants Nintendo to be their primary console is that what I feel like, and I'm doing a little bit of an in-depth video I'm working on for YouTube, is that Nintendo is pushing themselves in a position in the market where they're not that primary gamer box anymore.
Right. Definitely.
And while for people who own multiple consoles, that's perfectly fine. You know, for me, that's fine. But for anyone else that just wants to own one console, that's not fair to, you know, someone that wants to be able to play their Call of Duty and play Zelda, but doesn't really care about playing Halo or Uncharted. Nintendo is pushing themselves in a way where they are somewhat isolating some of their fans who want that one dedicated experience. And while I completely understand where they're going, because I'm not going to try to veer too off topic, but the way I see how the console market has been going and the trends, there hasn't really been any point where there have been more than two dominant consoles in the market, with the exception of, was that the 7th generation Wii, PS3, and 360. And that was because the Wii was able to situate itself where it could be a secondary console in the household. That's what the Switch is doing. Or trying. That's what Nintendo's trying to do with the Switch, and as such, they are isolating a good bit of their fans, basically saying, well, you know, if you want Nintendo stuff, you're fine here, but if you want something more, then I'm sorry, outside of a few third-party titles, we can't help you. And I think
that if it sells, it's going to get more third-party, Western third-party anyway. Because I mean, like here's why I say this: the Nintendo Switch, when you really think about it, is the most future-proof console Nintendo has ever made. And the reason why I say that is because regardless of whether they try to mind flip you and tell you that it's a console, at the end of the day, we know better, right?
We know.
It's a portable system you can hook up to your TV. And what is something that Nintendo always does with their portables? Upgrade, right? Yep. And you better believe that there will be a Switch Pro or a Switch, new Switch XL or something like that that's going to have a little bit more processing power than the current launch one, right? And then there's also this thing that people are forgetting. The Nintendo Switch right now is really not that powerful, but it does have native features built inside of it that makes it capable to bring some kind of scaling from third-party games. You've got a console that is capable of porting over Unreal Engine 4 games, not just the mobile version, but the console version of Unreal Engine 4. It's going to look like trash, but it's going to be scalable to the Switch, right? And then you've also got a console that will support different APIs like the Vulkan API, which makes it really easy to scale large games or high intensive games to smaller or lesser hardware, right? You've got your OpenGL. It supports the most recent version of Unity. There's all these different ways that people can scale their games to the Nintendo Switch that makes it easier and less resource heavy for these developers to bring these games to it. But the caveat is, can Nintendo get systems in people's houses? That's really the biggest thing, because if Nintendo can get systems in people's houses and they bring over the 3DS crowd and they get these PlayStation dudes that like the JRPGs, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to create a user ecosystem that's different than the norm that you would normally see on like your Wii or your Wii U or any other Nintendo home platform, and that will build an ecosystem of people that might actually be interested in these Western third-party games. Because you know for a fact Nintendo fans are going to buy the Japanese stuff because they're already doing it on the 3DS. They're already doing it on the Wii U. They're going to get those Japanese games. But if Nintendo can get these systems in people's houses and get a different demographic of people who play on the system, that's what you're going to see. And that's the reason why I keep telling people, like, this is basically going to be Nintendo, like a culmination of everything from not only the home console division, but from the handheld as well. A lot of people keep forgetting that side of the Nintendo fan base, because the Nintendo 3DS and the handheld fan base, the Nintendo fan base on the handhelds, are a lot more open-minded on the console side.
That keeps the lights on.
Exactly. And they're a lot more open-minded than on a home console side. So if Nintendo can get these 3DS people, you know, get that Pokemon popping, get that Monster Hunter popping, you know what I'm saying? That Mario Kart is probably going to do well. You know what I'm saying? Get people like that into your ecosystem, because that's really what it's going to take to get these third parties at least to GameCube level support. You might not get all of them. You're not gonna get all of them, but you're gonna at least get your main ones, like your Call of Duties, your Madden,
like
your NBA 2K.
EA made it pretty clear they're only gonna support this thing if it sells.
Exactly.
Like,
that's the bottom
But it shouldn't
line.
be like that.
It shouldn't, but that's what it is.
That's what it is.
I think with the catastrophe that was the Xbox One presentation, and for a long time, a lot of people were on the fence about the Xbox One. There was no unwavering support about EA. Well, EA
that's
was
you gotta understand. You gotta understand the difference.
They're gonna make, because that is an ecosystem that has already played these games, right? We've had the Wii, we've had the Wii U. We haven't really had extensive Western third-party support since GameCube, and that was like what, 10, 15 years ago, right? Yeah. So it's like Nintendo's got to show and prove not only to us as the fans, they got to show and prove to these developers. And the way that they can do that is the user base install numbers. Right. And that's what it is.
Wait, you need to understand that third parties cannot survive on one console. They have to put games on the Xbox One and PC. Xbox One and PS4 are almost the exact same console. So for them to port a game over to the Xbox, it doesn't cost them a lot of money. Xbox fans buy multi-plat games. It's proven generation after generation they buy multi-plats more than they do exclusives. That's why even with their low sales, they're still gonna get all the multi-plats.
That's why I keep asking these dudes, like, why are you so obsessed with these when Nintendo consoles do have multi-plats, knowing that you're gonna play it on your Xbox or PlayStation? That's like so dumb. I just don't understand, man. Like, this is why I have both of my controllers. Y'all see my controllers? I got an Xbox and I got a PlayStation. Why the fuck do I want to play multi-plats on a Nintendo Switch, knowing that it's going to be the inferior version? I've been saying this for a long time, but people keep sidestepping my question. They won't answer the question. All they can say is, you're a Nintendo fag. You're a retard. Like, what is this coming from? You call me all these sorts of Nintendo fag names, but at the end of the day, I play my Xbox. Hell, when I go on my Xbox, I never see you online. You don't do shit. If you're online, you're watching Hulu or Netflix or something. You don't play games. I'm a Nintendo fag, but I play more Xbox than you. Like, I'm hearing all this shit that's going on in this community. I'm not gonna go on a huge rant like I did my video a while ago. Matter of fact, if you want to see my video, just go to my channel. I went on a huge rant, man. Like, seriously.
Yeah,
you did.
It's really more.
Yeah, you did.
Like, it's not really PlayStation dudes. It's Xbox dudes, because there's a lot of PlayStation dudes out there that actually is excited about
there's a lot of PlayStation dudes that are like, yo, Fire Emblem, I get to play Shin Megami Tensei, all these
JRPGs appeal to the PlayStation crowd. But we already know that these Xbox mouth breathers, if it doesn't have a gun in their head, they're not gonna buy. Look at Final Fantasy 15. It bombed on the Xbox One. Nobody ain't playing that shit. So this is what I'm saying. If you are an Xbox dude and you want multi-plats on an inferior system, find the tallest building in your city and jump off of it.
Oh my God.
Just being honest. Like, I'm gonna be like Fat Gray. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm just, like, seriously, man.
Shout out to Fat Gamer.
So freaking retarded. They will they won't answer my question. I was like, why the fuck do I want multi-plats on my goddamn Switch? I have an ecosystem.
That is the answer.
Gamer score on my Xbox One. I don't have any trophies, about 400 trophies on my PlayStation 4, and I get the superior versions of those multi-plats. My Nintendo consoles is for my Nintendo content. If they have some third-party games, that's like all these Xbox dudes and PlayStation dudes, Nintendo is gonna be. It's a secondary console. It's a fucking secondary console.
Well, to be fair, there are third-party
games. Nintendo consoles is primary to the Nintendo audience. Like, come on, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out.
It does.
Y'all complaining about the price of the Switch, talking about $300. Bitch, you pay $500 for the Xbox One. You pay $400 for the PlayStation 4 at lunch. You bought a PlayStation Pro. You bought the Slim. You bought the Xbox One S. You bought the PlayStation VR. You bought the Elite controller. And $300 is too much.
Like, I'll say this: anybody that bought a PSVR for $300-$400, those people cannot complain.
The hypocrisy in this community is at its all-time max. These people just bitch because they don't have no games to play. Xbox dudes, they ain't got no games to play. But I see most of y'all on Twitter and Facebook crying about the Switch, motherfucker. Like, you know what? Let me chill.
All right.
Let me chill.
Let's go ahead and move on because we are reaching an hour and a half. So I'm gonna pass it over to my boy Sax because he had a point to make about third parties on Nintendo, and I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to express their opinion because I think he had a counterpoint to whatever Alex said. So we're gonna move on to my boy Sax. I'm sorry, and then we're gonna move on to a couple of questions. So you guys in the chat, go ahead and get your questions ready. We're not going to be able to take that many tonight because we have gone on pretty long. This is much longer than our usual shows. So Sax, go ahead and continue on with your counterpoint about the third parties on the Nintendo Switch.
I'm gonna basically end it. I was almost done anyway. It's just okay. Saying that Nintendo is kind of really on a slippery slope to me, that they can isolate a good portion of their hardcore fan base while they try to segment their market space. And I think that moving forward with the Switch, that I just feel like they should kind of be careful with that. Like, to me, like I said, for us, is the Switch is fine to us, but we got to realize that we're kind of not the only people or group of gamers that consider themselves big Nintendo fans in that regard. And business wise I understand, but it's kind of not fair. They are kind of isolating a part of their fan base. But that's all it is to that. I'll talk about it more in the video. So, subscribe, guys, to my YouTube channel.
Give us like a short snippet on how you think they're segmenting. Because, I mean, they're combining both divisions. So it's interesting to me that you think that they're segmenting off a portion of their fan base. So you ain't got to give us the whole thing. We can watch a video on your channel for that. But go ahead and give me a snippet of why you feel like that.
So to put it in short, you can think of it like a Venn diagram. Mm-hmm. So we can, and probably a multiple Venn diagrams, but I would say the easy way is, so we have the Nintendo fans who we'll have the Nintendo fans who like both, and they're kind of in the middle. So they like their handhelds and consoles.
Right.
Then we have Nintendo fans that only care about the console experience, don't care about anything that has to do with the handheld market. These are the people that I'm really worried about, because those are the people that, in my experience from who I'm talking to, those are the people that are like, yo, I don't mind if the Switch is a hybrid or console, but they're not giving me as much as I thought I would need. They're not giving me the base. They gave me Zelda, and they gave me Platoon, but like Henry, he wants COD.
Yeah, of course.
He wants COD. Like some of those popular Western, titles that were kind of staple on the Wii U for a period of time, and even the Wii. Like, we got a few Call of Duty games for the Wii. We got Black Ops 1.
Yeah.
That's where they're kind of isolating them, and they're kind of like, oh, well, Nintendo isn't really doing it, and they're like, oh, I guess I should go where it is doing it for me, the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. And like, that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, well, Nintendo isn't doing it for me as much as they do, so now I have to find other sources to get my complete gaming experience. But some people don't want to do that at all.
There's no way you can get a complete experience on any one console anyways, though.
That's all relative, though. Some people can do with less, and some people need more. And some people grow. Like, you grow into who you are as a person, or a gamer in this case, and you realize you kind of want more. And if you feel like Nintendo is kind of keeping themselves in that box, and you're growing out of the box, the shoe is getting too big. And that's what I feel like it's happening to some people. I know it's happened to me.
I get what you're saying. Like, they should go after the big titles like Call of Duty and stuff.
I agree, yeah.
But at the same time, like, they can't force these companies to make the games. Once their console sells, they'll get them. Like, it was proven with the Wii. Like, the Wii was like the weakest piece of shit console of all time at that point, and it had like specific Call of Duties made. It had all these third-party games because it sold so well.
Sports titles too.
So as long as the Switch sells, it'll get games, because again, it's easy to port to. It's a non-issue as long as it sells.
As long as it sells, that's really going to be the bottom line. If it sells, it will.
I got a question.
But I understand where Sax is coming from. Hold on real quick. I want to get this point out. But I understand where Sax is coming from, because I know a lot of developers, even though it is easy support to, a lot of them might be kind of apprehensive, I suppose, because there hasn't been a market for third-party games on the Nintendo
it's not a good
console in
track
a very
record.
long time. You know, there's not a good history there. That's why I was saying in my previous response that Nintendo has got to bring in people who would normally play these titles, because if they're relying on like that core Nintendo fan that has been conditioned to only get Nintendo products for Nintendo games, they're not going to see those returns. But I'm going to go ahead and let Real Gamer, you finish your point, and then we're going to go to questions.
I was about to say, like, ever since Sony came out this console market back in, was it 95, 96? When was the last time has all three consoles has been a success besides the last generation with 360, Wii, and the PS3? When was the last time that all three consoles did good?
There hasn't been. I think I said that.
That was the only time. Yeah.
That's why Nintendo took a different route, because you don't want three of the same consoles that offer basically 70% of the same games. That's why they took their own route. So let's say Nintendo Wii had the same graphics as the PS3 and the 360. Like, I don't know how that would turn out, but then again, you know, a lot of people were still so used to playing Call of Duty, all those hardcore games on PlayStation and Xbox. You know, that's basically where I'm coming from, man. Like, like these people are asking for 4K on Nintendo consoles. Like, let's just be real, man. A lot of Nintendo guys don't buy third-party games. Let's
4K.
Let's keep real. They don't buy third-party games. So what makes
I can't believe these dudes are excited for 4K games with medium textures like you get on the standard Xbox.
So why do a lot of people keep thinking that Nintendo that console is going to be a huge success? That would be a failure.
Like,
that would be a failure, because
Nintendo games don't require 4K, so going 4K just wouldn't make sense for Nintendo.
Xbox and PlayStation want these high graphics on the Nintendo console, so they can just basically just look at it and don't even buy it. That's
I'm not gonna lie. Like my PC satisfies that itch for graphics.
Right.
Like, and my PC console satisfies that itch for something that's a little bit.
If you want graphics, you have to play on PC. Like, look at the PS4 Pro. It was touted to be 2-3 times more powerful than the PS4. Look at it. Most of the games look the same. Some of them run worse.
Fresh air in this console market. Like, we don't want three of the same consoles, man. I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah, I don't want three of the same consoles either. But I do agree that sometimes Nintendo has kind of gotta.
Sometimes they go a little too far.
Yeah, sometimes they have to be like with the online thing. They have to be competitive. Like, that's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have to be competitive about it.
Yeah, of course.
They have to be competitive about it.
There's some like staples that you have to abide by, which is like one of them is online. But then there's other stuff like there's no reason we should be worried about 4K on consoles right now. PC can barely do it. With like a GTX 1080, and you expect the Scorpio to magically do it? A 6 teraflop console? Like, a 6 teraflop graphics card is like a RX 480. That thing's $200. Like,
yeah, true.
That console's not a beast. I don't know what they're talking about. It's not a beast.
We gonna find out the holiday. But let's go ahead and move on to these questions. I got 3 questions on my end. Alex, do you have questions?
I got a bunch.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with, maybe we could do like 4 questions. How about that? I'm gonna pick a good one. So somebody asked me, what game will sell more, Horizon or Zelda? It's gonna be Horizon. Like, it has a higher
install. No, it's not. The install base doesn't matter. It's a new IP.
Look at the pre-order.
Sony actually supports their games too, so I think Sony has a pretty their fans back up their games with sales. I think realistically is to expect Horizon will sell better. If we can count the full install base of the Wii U and Switch, I mean, I don't think Zelda's going to be any slouch. I don't think it's going to go down.
Zelda's not going to be a slouch, but Horizon has a huge install base to cater to or to be marketed to. You know what I mean? Like, there's many more eyes that will see it versus those who see Zelda.
But like I like to say, Nintendo games do have legs. They sell very well over the long
run. I'm gonna have to disagree, because if you look at Uncharted 4,
I'm looking right at the pre-order numbers. The Wii U is at 120,000. The Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4 is at 157,000. I'm talking about Wii U, not the Switch.
Install base is irrelevant. The Wii U has 14 million install base. Mario Kart 8 sold over 8 million. That's a higher. That's sold more than any PlayStation 4 exclusive. Sold more than any Xbox exclusive. Like, Zelda's gonna outsell Horizon. Horizon's a new IP. Zelda's one of the most well-known franchises of all time.
And it includes voice acting, which we've been asking for since Ocarina of Time. Come on, man.
There was only
there's a lot of
one
people
game
who
at
haven't played Zelda
E3
for a
where
while.
people were trampling each other to run over to play it. There was only one game doing that.
So you telling me Horizon Zero Dawn gonna outsell Zelda, even though Zelda was the most talked about
Let's
game?
put it like this: who was standing in line for Zelda,
Exactly.
or who was standing in line for Horizon? Now we're done.
Y'all crazy.
move
Zelda
on.
was the most talked about game on social media.
So,
But
we're
like at the
better.
same time, like Zach said, like PS4 people do support this.
They do support their exclusives.
Who
but I'm just-
supports exclusives more than Nintendo fans? Come on.
That's also a good.
Mario
point.
Kart 8, come on, man, come on. Let's be real.
Like, they ain't got no choice but to. So hey,
Exactly.
that's just what it
That's
is.
just what it
Okay,
is.
what happened if we get the Wii numbers again?
Huh?
Mario Kart Wii
Yeah,
numbers,
exactly. Mario Kart Wii sold, what, 30 million?
30 million? Come on, guys.
I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna do.
But we'll
either.
see. I mean, we will see.
I
mean, once
can
this
foresee
do
it
come
doing
out.
around 60, like just from the 3DS install base.
Yeah, but like after the initial launch of Horizon and stuff, the numbers are gonna go down. Whereas Zelda's gonna constantly keep going up. So that's
Nintendo games sell throughout the generation. Sony games don't generally.
Never like.
There's a few like
Nintendo
Uncharted,
games
but most don't.
Nintendo games continue to sell over course of time, even with day one launches and stuff like that. So after the initial launch of Horizon, I just don't see it continuing after that.
Like,
Like,
it'll do
trickle down
well
from there.
because
It'll do well, but it'll trickle down from
not
people
not
picking
Zelda
it up.
well.
Damn, y'all.
Zelda.
I know there's gonna be a lot of outrage after this video is archived.
And like, come on, like
They'll get over it.
15 million at least.
Sensible people don't care right now. The sensible people are just like whatevs. The rest of them,
Damn.
like why would you expect?
even.
Like, I just don't understand why anyone would expect a brand new IP to outsell Zelda.
But Guerrilla Games? They got a they shitty. They make shitty games. Shadowfall was a disaster.
I'm not gonna go that far because Killzone
I mean,
2 was good.
I'm trying to keep it at.
But this is the first time that we've actually seen like them try to do more of like a narrative heavy type of like
And
game.
you can't just you can't just suddenly shit on Horizon just because Zelda's
No,
here. but at the
Horizon,
same
like
time-
no, don't get it twisted. I think
Horizon
Horizon looks
good.
awesome. It's just Zelda's better. That's all.
But there's still questions about it. Like, where's the story? They focus more on gameplay.
There is a completely have a story.
They
up.
released
I've watched
they
it.
released a story trailer now.
Yeah, they have a story trailer. Yeah.
It just
All right,
it's not very good though.
Alex, what question do you have on your end?
Let's see, where did it go? Oh, this one's a good question. Why are you so sexy, ActivesiN? Oh my god, thank you. Okay, let's see. What do you think about the Pro Controller having digital triggers?
Lame.
Very lame.
I don't think.
Like,
it
I mean,
affects
I don't.
Maybe they'll
really-
update it. I don't know. But,
I don't
can't.
really use like analog triggers outside
a
of like
hardware thing.
shooters, but like
Digital
it should have them, dude.
analog triggers are the best. That's why the Xbox controller is the best controller.
It really is, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I have another question. Realistically, what do you guys project the Switch's sell numbers would be after year one? I'm saying 10 million.
10 million. That's a little.
What?
I give it
From March to
Switch,
from March
they
to March.
make more than 1 million.
Switch
worldwide and
Switch
North
first
America.
year? Like it depends. It depends how many they produce.
You know what?
Yeah,
Are we
I
talking
don't know
from
how
March
many
to
they
December or March to March?
I'll retract my statement. From March to March, I say about.
I say
8
5,
million.
6.
I
That
say
low?
8 million.
The Wii U sold 3 million within the first 3
Right
months.
now,
Yeah.
according to sources, apparently they only have 1 million in production, but that's just that's just what they're saying. So let's be real. Nintendo is pretty good at the supply and demand game. They love to not have enough supply for the demand. So right now they're all sold out.
They're gonna
Amazing.
sell as many as they want to sell.
Right. So right now they're talking about how they only have a certain amount and everybody's rushing out to go get them.
Yeah.
And then they're going to open pre-orders again after initial launch, and then they're going to suddenly it's going to be hard to find them again, and then they're going to be opening, so they're going to do well. I think they're going to play the amiibo game with the Switch.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely
we're-
are. They
we're gonna-
absolutely are.
They're totally going to play the
Video
amiibo game.
said how many 3DS systems sold in the first year.
It didn't sell well in the first year.
It wasn't that good at first because
they had the
remember,
price
had
too
to
high.
have that
Yeah, the price
drop.
is too high. Plus there'll be a price drop for the Switch more than likely
Yeah.
for holidays.
Holiday, they better
Alright.
make a Mario
So,
bundle.
Alex,
I
you got
can't believe
another
they don't have a
question
Zelda
for us?
bundle. That's crazy.
That is ridiculous, right?
I can't believe it.
How will
Alex, you
Joy-Cons
got another
work?
question?
Yeah, how will Joy-Cons work for Bayonetta 3? I'm guessing the fatalities will have some really fun ways to do them with the Joy-Cons. Your
The
thoughts?
climaxes.
I assume they won't have... Well, actually, they use the stupid gamepad. You just tap on the
Yeah.
gamepad. So they'll do something like you shake the Joy-Cons, I suppose. But I don't care.
Maybe.
Pro controller boys.
Probably will.
Or you just use
Alright.
the pad
So I'm gonna answer this one question, and then we're gonna do our outro because it's like 1 hour and 45 minutes, and like
Oh,
that's
damn.
crazy.
Oh, damn.
I gotta go to work in the morning, but your girl might call in because I don't really feel too great. So anyway, the final question is: do you think that the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game is worth $60?
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I'm a big Mario Kart fan, so I don't know if I'm the one to
I'm
ask.
gonna say yes and no. I'm
I say yeah.
gonna say yes and no. Yes, because it is it's what we got from Mario Kart, which is an awesome game, and I will definitely double dip in that. And it's got extra stuff on top. I say no because it is also, a game previously played with some extra stuff on top. It's like basically it's Mario Kart 8 with DLC again. So that's kind of where I'm just like, yes, I do see why they make it at 60 because it's for a new system, but at the time it wasn't built from the ground up. It was ported over, added some extra an extra track, some extra characters, some extra
They added a whole battle mode.
play styles and stuff. They actually, new battle mode, all that stuff. So I mean, there are more new things to it, but it just seems like it's like a DLC. It's like a DLC kind of
It's
sort
the
of thing to me.
DLC
Not
that
like
wasn't given to
expansion.
us on the Wii U.
Yeah, it was the DLC they probably
They
were
were
gonna
gonna
put
give
Wii
on the
U, but they
Wii U.
decided
Yeah.
I think we were gonna get that for the Wii U, and they decided hell no, let's move it to the Switch.
Yep.
So that's why I say yes and no.
Like
But
I
I'm
can
gonna
I can
get it, I
see
don't care.
if you were a Wii U owner and you had Mario Kart 8, why you might not see the value in it. But you got to remember, there's a lot of people that didn't play that game.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
A
people
lot
who
of
didn't
people.
play Mario Kart.
And when
They
you
got
see
it.
like the quality of that game and the visuals and all the content in there, they must have spent a lot of money on that game. So they're not gonna release it for $20 or whatever. Would I like them to release it for $20? Yeah, of course I would. I personally, I think if you own the Wii U version, you should get a free upgrade to the Switch version.
Yeah, I think that.
I agree with that.
But
I agree
that's
with
not
that.
happening
I don't,
because
because it doesn't have to do
Kim
with
Mishima's a very cheap man apparently. So that's not gonna happen.
Greedy.
Yeah, he's very greedy. Look at those accessory prices.
What were you saying, Sax? You said what?
It doesn't happen anywhere else. When we look at Grand Theft Auto 5 next gen version, it was $60. If we look at The Last of Us remastered, $60. I don't think that it needs to be. If you're not going to buy remasters or just a simple portion, that's fine. But I don't think that it should be any cheaper than what it is. I think $60 is fine. It comes with all the DLC.
Yeah, it comes with the
previously,
DLC that you had to
and
pay for on the Wii U, and you get
So I
more
think
DLC and you get the battle mode. So like, if you never played it, especially like that's a steal. You get a lot of shit in there.
So how many of these remasters that came out this generation still was released at $60?
A lot of
A
them.
lot of them, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Mario Kart Deluxe is
Like
basically a
freaking
remaster.
God of War 3 was $60. That was a straight port. They didn't even do anything.
yeah,
And we
a lot
do
of
kind of
games-
hold, like Sax was saying, we do kind of hold Nintendo to these standards that we don't really hold other
Right, so it's like
developers to.
Oh no!
It
Like
kinda
I
goes-
think
when you look at it to
the
that extent, I
remasters that
think
we've been
it's
getting
right.
this generation are crazy. Like some of these games are just straight ports, and all they do is up-res it. Like they don't add anything, and they charge $60. So it's stupid.
But I will say this though, if we're to look at all of the content that was in the original Mario Kart 8, and then the fact that they're going to be adding another battle mode, like just think about it like this.
And you got to
The
remember they
DLC
added
that we got.
they changed the way you play the game because you get 2 items now, and they added new items to play with.
Right. Yeah.
True. And then but look at it like this though. The DLC that we got in Mario Kart for the Wii U, that was like
That was
whole other game.
$12. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if this battle mode is gonna be how I think it's gonna be, or how it was in previous Mario Karts, to me that's like a whole other game, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole portion of the game that we didn't play on the Wii U version because it was trash.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah. The way
on one hand,
I
feel
see
like
it though.
it's worth it. On the other hand, it's like I don't know because I already really had it.
For me,
Or
like
have it.
having the second item changes the dynamic of the game entirely.
It definitely does.
You have to
Yeah.
plan differently how you race, And having the new battle mode is fantastic. That's something I've wanted this whole time. I always thought the battle mode that they had in Mario Kart 8 is complete garbage.
Yeah.
So now you get a proper battle mode. That to me is worth getting. But I can see why some people don't think it's worth it.
I'm hearing that for those who own The Last of Us, the remaster was $25. So,
With like
Yeah,
an
I think
upgrade
I
fee.
remember, I think I remember them.
See, that's
doing
smart.
something
Like they should do
similar.
stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they should too.
You know,
Because like they do
But
it
if
for
you-
they
but
do
if
it for
you've never
virtual
played
console
Mario
games.
Kart
Because if
stuff,
you
that's
if you
a
had
lot of
a virtual
content.
console game on the Wii, you would upgrade it for $2 and get it on the Wii U.
True.
So it's not like they haven't done stuff like this before.
That's true. That's all very
All
good
the things I
points.
say are true.
Oh my God. And I'm up here agreeing. Yeah. All right, you guys. So that is the end of Team Red Talks Nintendo. We almost got to 2 hours. That is crazy.
Oh, that's pretty close to fuckboy territory. Let's get out of here.
Oh my God.
wow.
So
fuck boys,
now
yeah.
we're going to
Yeah.
go round table style. We're going to give our intro and any closing thoughts that we might have. So I'm going to start. I'm going to go backwards this time. Real Gamer, go ahead and give your outro and maybe even some closing thoughts. Tell the people where they can find you.
What's up? It's your boy Reboot 27, and appreciate you let me join y'all cast today. You know, I guess I had a little extra time, and if y'all have any, I guess any extra time in your hands, come to my channel, join your boy, join his stream. I stream just about every damn day. I do podcasts.
Yeah, real streams are wild.
Podcast every Thursday, but this Thursday is my wife's birthday, so I might either push it to tomorrow or Friday. So
Friday works better.
Basically, I talk about everything. I talk about PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. I don't play that fuckboy shit. I'm a
Okay.
Y'all know how.
Half our casts are about Crap Gamer.
Oh
Okay,
man,
stop.
You talking shit.
Oh.
First of all, my channel is not a drama channel. Let's just get that shit. That's just,
I don't know.
it's not a drama
I
channel.
don't know.
I'm more of a common sense channel.
That's a little questionable.
I'm gonna clean up this YouTube community. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm gonna keep it real. If there's some bullshit that needs to get discussed, I will discuss the shit. I don't even give a damn if I call somebody out. If there's like a lot of stupid fuckboy shit going on, I'm going to fucking address it. That's just how I roll. But I also talk about a lot of games. I talk about Xbox, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. I talk about everything.
Even
That's how I
Sega.
roll, man. Yeah, I talk about
Even Sega. All right, on that note, we're going to move on to Kuuppon because this can get out of hand.
Oh, it's already there.
You give your outro, tell the people where they can find you, any thoughts you might have.
So, yeah, you can find me on Kuuppon Stives over my gaming channel. I mostly just stream it these days. I ain't into anything particular. I just put a game on, stream, let people come in. You can chit-chat with me, talk shit, ask questions, all that good stuff. Because it's about gaming and having fun with, the viewers and all that good shit. For the most part, I'll probably continue to keep playing Baby Watch until Zelda drops. And then that shit is getting retired. And we will be having some Zelda streams going up soon. So be on the lookout for that. I think I might
Get
actually
ready
have
for the
Kingdom Hearts
copyright
coming.
strikes.
Oh, yeah. Copyright strike.
That's why.
Copyright
That's why I just
boys.
keep that copyright boys. So, there might be some freaking Kingdom Hearts 2.8 gameplay. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But other than that, keep it gaming.
Yay. All right, my boy Sex Rebel, any closing thoughts? Tell the people where they can find you and all that good stuff.
All right. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for having me on the Team Red Talks podcast. I would like to very well join you guys again if that's possible.
Yeah, you were a good guest.
So for anyone, again, you can check me out on Twitter. I kind of tweet a good bit, not just about gaming, but about a lot of stuff, views from the stacks. I also do YouTube videos. I'm not like a news kind of guy or even a drama, quote unquote, person. I kind of like to do more thought-provoking conversations about stuff, and I kind of try to do some critical thinking analysis. So I haven't put up a video for 2017 yet, but one will be up soon. So you guys check me out if that's the kind of stuff you like.
My hope for 2017 is that my boy Sax would upload more videos. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna use my 2017 wish for Nintendo.
Oh damn! All right, so my boy Alex, go ahead and give your outro. Any closing thoughts?
What's going on, everyone? ActivesiN here. This is another episode of Team Red Talks Nintendo. We had a good time here. Had some new guests, some people you haven't seen in a while, and Nintendo's got a cool console on the way. I think it's gonna be a success. A lot of people out there are mad. Zaire, talking to you. And make sure to sub to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 here. I'm really tired of being at 800, whatever it is. So yeah, make sure to
Because you suck.
subscribe there. And make sure to check us out every Monday. Not Monday, Tuesday we do this show.
Tuesday.
It's always about Nintendo. So if you like Nintendo stuff, make sure to check it out. And Thursday is the Fuckboy Cast with Real Gamer.
Don't start this shit.
But yeah, there you go. This is a fun cast.
Oh my god, y'all are so funny.
Alex
All right, you guys, y'all are so funny.
You gotta portray me as a fuckboy channel, but he starts the shit. He's like, hey, Real, guess what? I got an idea. Why don't you do a fuckboy?
Why do you fall for it?
No,
I mean, that sounds kind of accurate, low key. But, you know, we can't go
That's Alex, man.
nobody
I tell you, man.
knows.
Sneaky.
So it is your girl Nia, the video game her. Thank you guys so much for joining in to another episode of Team Red Talks Nintendo. It was pretty lit today, I have to admit. I mean, me, Alex, and Kuuppon, we hold it down, but it was such an honor, such a pleasure having Sax and my homeboy Real Gamer on the podcast tonight. If you like Nintendo content for people who gonna keep it real with you about Nintendo and tell you what's really going on with Nintendo, good or bad, I suggest subscribing to everybody on the panel because we're gonna keep it real with you 100%.
I'm gonna keep it real.
We're gonna keep it real with you 100%, including myself. So shout outs to all of the viewers, man. The chat was lit on my end. We got about 30 viewers live on my end, and I appreciate you guys. Make sure that when this is archived, you guys give it a like and give it a share, and even at Nintendo so they can hear from some real Nintendo fans about what we want to see and things that they could change. And I think that's what it's all about. If you're a real Nintendo fan with real concerns and real opinions, it's up to us to get that message across to Nintendo before some fuckboys go out there and mess it up.
Make sure to voice it. Like if you have a problem with Nintendo, just tweet them. Like don't just hold it in. Don't be one of these weirdos that says just wait and see, and then you end up with a Wii U. Don't be that guy.
No.
Don't be
Alex,
that guy.
No.
On that note, we're done.
We literally had a conversation earlier today with some individuals. Like,
man, I have conversations like that every day with random people.
Oh my boy, we not doing no way to see stuff over here. I'm gonna let my concerns be heard right now, my boy. You feel me? Anyway, I'm not gonna go on about that because we at almost 2 hours right now. So thank you guys for tuning in again. Don't forget to tell your friends, tell your sister, tell your mama, tell your daddy about the Team Red Talks Nintendo podcast. And we are out. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
See ya.